Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the second show of Create It. I'm Jennifer Scott and I am your host on this live Monday evening, early evening for some people, late evening for others. And I'm here to talk to you all about designing your own mindset practice. Now, I'm really excited about today's topic because, to be honest, it's the absolute foundation before we get into any more of the goods when it comes to mindset and manifesting what you desire and ultimately creating what you want. Because if you don't have a daily practice, you will not be able to generate the focus that you need to really bring your dream into a reality. Okay, so what we're going to start with here is the thoughts, okay? So your thoughts, what you think, creates what you see, okay? That's sort of like mindset and manifesting 101. And I even said it on the last video, and I'll say it a lot more, that one of the toughest things when people first start to learn about this mindset and manifesting, and that they do have a lot more power and control over what happens in their life than they actually think they do, is it's a tough pill to swallow when you're like, I don't want to think that I'm responsible for the not so good things in my life. But here's what we're going to take a look at is I'd like you to just run a little experiment, okay? And what I'd like you to think about is I want you to like look around your room, okay? Or wherever you're at or what you're doing. Maybe if you're like driving and listening, wait for to do this later. But if you're in a room, I want you to like look around and I want you to notice every single thing that is red, okay? I want you to notice everything that you see that is red. And look around. If you have no red, pick one other color, blue, okay? Look around, look at all you can see. So I'm checking things out here. I'm seeing a lot of red, okay? And now I want you to tell me everything that you saw that was tan or brown. Okay? And I'm sure you get where I'm going with this. The example is that what you think about is what you see the most of. You weren't thinking about brown, you weren't thinking about tan because you were instructed to think and look for red or blue, right? So what you were thinking about is what you focused on and then you saw and brought it into your awareness. Now that's just like a tiny little experiment. I think I got it from like Anthony Robbins, who's super cool. But yeah, just a little experiment to get you to see that what you think about is what you focus on and you start to see more of. So we'll go into this way deeper in some of the upcoming episodes, but just quickly, if you did a quick thought inventory and thought about all the things that you don't want in your life, how much time do you spend thinking about them? You know, I don't want to be this broke. I don't have enough money to pay for this. I don't have money to go and do this over here. I'm not bringing in enough money in my business. I'm not able to pay for my bills. I can't. I don't. It's not here. All these like negative things make you see that more. Insert the word red when it comes to like money, and it's the same example. So if you're spending a lot of time thinking about the money you don't have, for example, I use money, I could use health, use love, you could use lots of things, but we'll use money because that's always a big buzzword for people. The more you think about the money you don't have, the more you see the not having. Okay? Again, even these like principles right here, this is the mindset manifesting 101 kind of stuff. Okay? But me saying that you go and reading like the Wayne Dyer book to learn about it, or listening to Abraham Hicks, or I mean, whatever, even Tony Robbins, or even some mindset stuff that business coaches teach. It's one thing to say it and hear about it and get it. And then it's another thing to actually like bring it intentionally into your life and make it a habit or a goal or something that you focus on all the time so that you can change. Talk way more about brown, then you'll see more brown. Brown's like such a boring color. I don't know why I picked that one. Let's go for like fuchsia pink or something. But you get what I'm saying. Is you gotta replace those thoughts. You've got to change the thoughts. Here's all, when it comes to theory, here it is when it comes to mindset and manifesting, is whatever you want in your life, desire in your life, and we spoke about last week, so scroll through my stuff and take a look if you missed it. Whatever you want, when that's that real alignment, that's heart-centered, like that's a true desire for you, that you want it, peace, abundance, ease, I mean, whatever it is, success, that feeling and alignment is number one. You absolutely need that. But once you get in touch with that feeling, then it goes to your thoughts. Some people say you have your thoughts and then your feeling, that's okay. But the feeling and the thoughts together, if they don't match, that's why you don't see what you most desire in your life, right? So you can get in touch with the feeling that you want abundance, but if you're always thinking about lack, you're going to see lack. So that is the Coles Notes, in like maybe a little bit longer than a Coles Notes way, why we need a practice, why we need a mindset practice. You can call it a manifestation practice, why we need something to focus on every day that generates the momentum in the direction we actually want to go, so it'll bring us into alignment with what we desire. Okay? So now, one of the things that's really challenging about setting up a mindset practice and setting up, one of these daily practices so that you can start to cultivate thoughts that are more in alignment with what you desire is sticking with it is one. It's like the same thing as like sticking with the gym routine. It's like the exact same thing actually. And two is figuring out what works for you. So I'm going to use fitness and health right now because it works so well with as a metaphor, or as another example for this when it comes to like mindset and manifesting. You can feel that you want, okay, you're ready, you want to get healthier, you want to, change your eating habits, get some more exercise to like move your body, like you want to make that happen. And most of us, it's really easy to connect with. We don't need to say mindset and manifesting and all that kind of stuff. We pretty much know that once we get that feeling, then we have to take some action, right? So we all get that, okay, well, if I truly, truly want this, then to make it happen, I'm going to have to change what I eat, make some changes, and I'm going to have to like move my body some more. Right? That's not new information, okay? So people don't have a hard time with that. And they kind of know that, and if they don't do that, then they're going to keep feeling the same way, and they're going to keep getting the same results, right? So what happens? We sign up for a gym, we get a new trainer, we invest, we follow this new fancy diet, now we're going to do paleo, or we're going to cut out sugar, or, Weight Watchers, or whatever we're going to do, right? And we're like super gung-ho and excited. But we know that the only thing that really actually gets us the results is the doing it, right? Which is again what I talked about, and this is my mindset and manifesting method, is that you cannot just have alignment. You cannot just work on your mindset, and you cannot just have strategy, action. You have to have all three. And the diet is the easiest way to see it, or changing your lifestyle that way, is if you don't take action, like stop eating the chocolate cake is an action, right? Or go for that walk or yoga class or, fitness boot camp, which is also an action, that if we don't do something, we're not going to see the results that we want. We're not going to manifest that healthy body that we intentionally and in alignment feel like having. So you know that you have to stick with the habit of eating better or going to the gym or whatever it is you choose. And you have to be consistent with this. The same is true for your mindset and manifestation practice. Okay, it's the exact same. You're in alignment with what you want to create. You want to create abundance. You want to create more money. Okay, great. You're noticing that your thoughts don't actually think very great about money. They're usually spending more time on thinking about how much money you don't have. Hey, thanks for the likes. It's usually spending more time spending money or thinking about the money you don't have. Okay, we get that. So we know there's some mindset work there where we need to change those thoughts towards abundant thoughts. We've got it. Okay, well, now what's our strategy? Well, the strategy is the daily practice. That's your action. That's your strategy. Okay, now, so I also said here, and I'm going to like put it in at this point, that the one thing that all of you have to have, it's just like a non-negotiable. And that's, you have to cultivate a belief that what you truly desire is possible. And cultivating the belief, like that cultivation, that's specifically what the daily practice does. Okay, so that nobody can manifest or create what they want without having the thoughts or the belief, like thoughts that show that you believe that you really truly can make this happen. If you did a quick inventory about all the things that are wonderful and great in your life that have come to you with ease, if we went through it a little bit, you would come to find that you believed that that was possible, and that's why it came to you easily. Okay? So, just like the fitness or the gym, though, not everybody likes the same stuff. Some people like yoga. Some people like running. Some people like a paleo diet. Some people like something a little bit more balanced. Some people don't want to cut out everything. Some people can't stand fish, like whatever, right? Not all of us are the same. So this idea that there's like this one size fits all daily practice, I kind of call BS on that as well. And I've had a lot of clients and talked with a lot of clients where we had to get creative with their daily practice because they really didn't like writing, like didn't like it. And I'm going to be totally honest, I don't really like writing either. I have to do it. I consider myself a writer, sort of. I consider myself actually more like a content creator. But the way that I do it is through video, and then I use my video to write what it is that I'm working on providing to like my followers or on my blog. Okay, so I don't like writing. So for me to sit and do journaling all the time is like really, really difficult. And I know you can get into things that tell you about like, oh, your written words are power and all of that stuff. And that's great. And they are power if you believe that's true. Right? So whoever's saying that is because they believe that works for them. They believe it's true. But what works for me, what really helps me manifest what I desire and get my mindset in track is when I can visualize it. Visualization is the most powerful practice for me. And what it does is it puts me in the place of like seeing, believing, feeling, and getting that like excited alignment feeling going to the point where it just bubbles, 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 bubbles. And I'm like, yes, that, boom. And that's what I do to help increase my energy and change my thoughts from one that I don't believe whatever it is that I'm trying to create is going to come true over into actually believing it and then starting to see it. Okay? So there is what you need to do, is you need to have something in your daily practice, whether it's writing, whether it's visualization, doesn't really matter, whatever it is that generates the feeling, thanks for the love, I super appreciate that, that generates the feeling that is in alignment, or the feeling that gets the thoughts going that are more in alignment with believing that you can have what you want. So you're picturing, you're believing like, yes, actually, I can create this. I can make more money. I can be successful. I can make my business work. Like you're just spending time thinking like that. That's changing over. Just like whether you go to a yoga class, a weight training class, boot camp, running, whatever you're doing is also training your body to be healthier, right? Okay, so awesome. So how do you, which is tonight's topic, design your own. How do you create your own? Well, first of all, I want to talk to some of you because I know I see some of you. Hi, Julie, Natalie. I see some of you on here, and I know you already know this stuff. I know you know the daily mindset practice. I know you know how important it is. So for a minute, I want to talk to the people that do know what it is. And what I would call you out on is if you're still struggling to create something, right? Which means you're still struggling to believe something. And hey, we all have it. Like we all have, I have my creation goals that I'm constantly working on. And some I believe a lot easier and they come faster. And some I'm like, wow, like I got to really work at this like opposite belief and change it to the positive belief. So I am going to call you out, some of you senior mindset practitioners here, is how consistent are you with your practice? And here we go. If I told you that I am in it to win it, like I'm seriously changing my diet, I'm like going to start exercising more, you know, like I'm seeing the evidence in my life that's telling me that I'm not so healthy, seeing the evidence on how I'm getting weaker, I'm getting sick more often, right? You're seeing the evidence that your bank account's always low or in negative or you don't have enough money or whatever it is, right? Plug whatever it is in. I'm seeing that. So I am ready. I am motivated to make that change. And I'm telling you this and I'm like, yep, I'm doing it. I see the importance. I know I got to do this. And here's my plan of action. I'm going to go to this class and I'm going to follow this diet and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I am ready. And you're my friend and you're like high-fiving me and you're like, awesome. Can't wait to see how it goes for you. And then you see me a month later and I'm like, and you say, so how's it going? How's your daily practice to change your health? And I'm like, oh, yeah. I haven't really stuck with it. Guess what I would still be seeing in my life? The same health issues that had motivated me at the start or had inspired me to change. But because I didn't take any action and I didn't stick with anything consistently, nothing changed. So there you go. Not at all. Yeah. Right? And you know what? It's refreshing. And I was like that too in this. It took me a long time. Like I've said, I say this openly with a lot of people. Some of my like creation goals have been no problem. My manifesting goals have been no problem. They continue to get better and better and better. Some of them are way stickier. But when I'm really honest, and I want to be, because what's the point of me helping you learn this stuff if I can't even be honest about how it really is in life, even for a manifestation mindset coach, is everything that I struggle with or have struggled with in the past is because I was not consistent in changing my beliefs to one that aligned with what I actually wanted. That is the only reason. And I find comfort in that. And I'm talking about like when everything's checked, like it is in alignment. Sometimes things haven't happened, but that's when later on I realized that they actually weren't in alignment for me. So that's out. So true. Thanks, Natalie. So like if you're not in alignment, sometimes you find that out after, and that's fine, right? But if it's really something that you truly desire, like your heart, your like soul center really wants that, like the bigger purpose kind of stuff, then if it doesn't happen, it's because the changeover to believing that you can make it happen and like just working on that until you actually see it and like hold it in your hand. Okay, is consistency, is sticking with it. And that does give me some peace because it feels like, no, there is something that I can do about this. And there is a reason it hasn't happened yet. It's not because I'm bad or because, the universe doesn't like me. It's like, no, I'm just actually not following the method properly. I'm not doing my part, right? And my part is like asking. And the asking is the daily practice. That's the part of the visualizing, the writing, the affirmation. That's the asking, right? And our job is to just keep that going. Keep it going. Universe's job is to orchestrate how it happens, right? That's not our job. And we all know how much trouble we get ourselves into when we try to make that our job. So that is how you go about doing a mindset practice, is you figure out what works for you. Very similar, like I said, to the fitness, right? You got to figure out what works for you. And sometimes it changes. I am so into hot yoga right now. I can barely even handle it. I love it so much. And I'm so into it. And I'm seeing the results and I'm seeing everything happening because I'm taking the action, because I have an aligned dream to be a healthy person. And I believe that I can be. So my health goal has totally manifested itself, right? I have to continuously take action, but it's totally manifested itself. So I'm so into it. But you know what? A few more months might pass by, and maybe then I'll get into jogging, or I'll want to lift some weights or something. So it's not that you have to have it and it stays the same forever. No, it changes, but you want to stick with something for a while. So what works for you is, well, you got to ask yourself, what's something that I can commit to? I used to say 30 days. Now I'm saying 40 days, and just see what happens. See the evidence that starts to come up. That's what we're going to talk about more next week. See if I'm actually starting to see outside that my thoughts are becoming things. I'm starting to get the evidence that what I'm desiring is coming to me. So for a long time, you can you can do your healthy fitness, and you can do your diet, and you can do everything else, and you don't necessarily see a ton of evidence, right? Maybe you want to lose weight, or you want to have more energy. Well, maybe that doesn't happen right away. Sometimes what happens is you actually feel worse. Sometimes what happens is your weight has some settling around to do, and there's more funky stuff happening before it actually finds its right weight size. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I'm sure you guys are with me on that. So it doesn't happen all the time, or it doesn't happen right away. I don't go to yoga for 1 week and I'm like, whoa, has my body transformed? That's not the way it works. And it's the exact same for the mindset practice. And what's also encouraging, though, is just like the fitness practice, just like putting in time, a new diet plan, that if you do it consistently, you will start to see the results, right? And that's part of making this mindset manifesting. It's not a woo-woo thing. Hey, don't get me wrong, I got numerology cards that I do readings on myself and stuff like that, but this is as woo-woo as gravity. Right? So we can trust in that. We can trust that this is a mathematical thing. We can trust that this is a science thing. We could, what did Einstein say? It's not philosophy, it's physics. We can trust in this stuff. Okay? So when we really start to follow these methods, it is impossible for the evidence and the change to not start showing up. Impossible. And if you're somebody that feels no, you're wrong, Jennifer, this is not working for me, I've tried everything, book a call with me. Book a free call with me, because I promise you, I will show you where you have been stuck. Okay. So pick what you like. Pick what you connect with most. Visualization, writing, affirmations. Maybe you just like reading affirmations. Maybe you enjoy writing the whole scene out in your day, the whole scenario every single day. Awesome. Maybe you like visualizing it every single day. Awesome. Maybe you like following guided meditations, where I listened to one of Gabrielle Bernstein's guided meditations. I think you can find it on the YouTube. I think you can find it on YouTube, where she it's a guided meditation around getting in touch with what you really desire and picturing it coming true. I mean, I love those because it takes away a lot of the thinking and focusing. Just to get my mind to focus, I can listen, and that helps me focus. Great. There's tons of other mindset practices, and what I can do too through this week is I'll post a few more mindset practices, so watch out for that, on different ways that you can spend time cultivating these thoughts. I said this, no, I said it actually in, I was guest speaking this week and I said it in that. If you have a persistent thought though, that is like challenging you, I've had those, right? So I've been doing my visualizations. I'm like, you can create this, and I've pictured it and I'm there. And then all of a sudden there's this voice that's like, no, you can't. No, you can't. If you could, you would have done it already. And natter. If you find that there's like really something like there that's strong, you're going to want to do something to like get that cleared out. I always recommend tapping because it is accessible and it is easy to use and it's like free, right? The person I recommend, I don't even know him, so this isn't an affiliate or anything, is Brad Yates. That's who I recommend. And you're going to want to like really tap out that I can't. I guess we'll have to do some tapping here soon too. So if there's something really strong that's like, no, you can't, you never could, then you're going to want to release that somehow. So you might want to work with a coach, do some tapping, like I said, get something, write out the affirmation that's the opposite of that, and then write out your negative thoughts about it, and then just keep writing the positive and then writing the negative. And if you do that for about, I think it's about 2 weeks. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm just doing this off the cuff. Abundance. So I'm writing, I have an abundance of money. You would do, okay, so say you're like, I have an abundance of money. This is the one that I want to think about. I have an abundance of money. I have an abundance of money. And then you're like sitting there and you're doing your thing, and then all of a sudden you hear this, no, you don't. Can you tell this is one I've worked on before? No, you don't. Right? So the strategy here is you would go and tap this one out so you get rid of the energy. So if it's feeling like a 10, if this is feeling like a 10, and then you want to get it down to like a 3, the 2, actually they even say like 2 or 1, right? So you would tap it out till it doesn't, you don't even really believe it. The other thing you can do is write this down and then write this down and do both for like 2 weeks, and you'll start to notice that this one becomes less. And it'll start off really, really powerful. It'll start off really strong, like, no, you don't, like, no. But if you keep working on this, you'll start to see that you're feeling this one more. So if you're like not resonating with tapping and all that like cool stuff, then, and this is more practical for you, work with this. But these are ways of working on a daily practice that works for you. And that's what this is all about. So if you're somebody, because you show up at this weekly show, Create It, Jennifer Scott, every Monday, tune in, share with your friends. If you're here because you're really serious and you know that you want to create some stuff in your life, manifest mindset, and you know that it's possible, and you've had a really big goal and you want to make it happen, and maybe even you've done a ton of work on it and it's still not happening, okay? Like, I get it. Sometimes goals are like that. It doesn't mean it's not coming, but some of them are, they're like the weeds in the garden. Some of them are even like really bigger and stickier. So you got to figure out your daily practice. And then once you figure out what you want to do, writing, visualization, maybe a mixture of both, then you're going to want to figure out when it works for you. I get up at 5 a.m. And that's not because I'm a hero. I actually just really enjoy getting up at 5 a.m. I get up at 5 a.m. and that's when I do it. The kids aren't up yet. My partner's not up yet. My fiance's not up yet. Well, sometimes he is, but there's usually a bit of time there that I can get by myself and just like focus in on what it is I'm creating and really tune in to that. And like I've shared with you, mine is with visualization, and the other one that I have is with reading. So if I'm feeling really like yucky and frustrated and whatever, I read something inspirational. I read something that I connect with that helps me, and that can vary through different things. And then I move into the visualization, visualizing what it is that I want, and just sort of that meditative breathing. That's what works for me. People would go and journal then. The amazing Amber Annette, who's one of my close friends. She does Coffee with the Universe, where she literally like has a conversation with the universe. It's brilliant. I do something similar, except I call it my biz meeting, and the universe is my biz partner. But that's when I call her universe in for meetings, literally to help me with some things that I'm stuck with. And that's how I do it. So if you have any questions for me, if you feel like you're really stuck or want some more direction on how you can set up your daily mindset practice, then please hit me up with some questions. Type them below. I always follow this thread, and let's get you set up with the kind of practice that you want. You're free to also grab a complimentary call through my website there to talk about where you're stuck and where you could use some help and give you some quick tips. And I'm also coming out with and will be sharing either this week or next a whole blueprint. Is that what they're called? My method, my manifesting and mindset method, but it's going to be like for you to use and work on as like a workbook. That's a better word, is a workbook. So just to sum up tonight's show, in order to create what you want, especially if it's a big, big goal that you've been struggling with too for a while, you need to believe that it can happen. You need to believe that you can receive that you can achieve that, right? And if you know that you don't believe it yet because you see the opposite in your life, right? We just talked about that last week, talked about contrast. You see the opposite of that in your life. So that means that if you're seeing the opposite, that you have thoughts that believe more in the opposite, right? So if we use money tonight and a little bit of health, but if you are always focused on the money you don't have, then you're going to continue to see like less money or lack of money. So if you continue to focus on how unhealthy you are, right, or what you don't do to improve your health, then that's what you're going to continue to see and have in your life. So regardless of what you are working on, is you need to set up your daily practice to spend time picturing, focusing, and start to believe that what you want to receive is possible. That is the whole point of the daily practice. That's what it is. It's just connecting in with our power source, right? The part of us that is powerful and can make this happen, and ditching this like ego habit is what I call it. Just ditching this old fear habit of like paying more attention to what's not working. Okay. And then we see more of it, right? So that's it. That's the sum up to practice. So I'd love to hear about how you create your practice and how you make it work for you. And if you are having trouble with staying consistent, you don't have to be sold on how important it is. You just need some help being consistent. Find a buddy. Find somebody that can do a 30-day like daily practice mindset check-in with you or something. You have to text them every day by a certain time and say, "Kate, I did it today," right? Start something together with somebody, a 40-day asana with somebody, right? Which means like a 40-day goal together with somebody to do it every day. Okay? That's it for tonight. I'll see you back here next Monday. Got tons of stuff coming for you all around helping you create a life and business that you love. We will get into strategies. We will get into specific business strategies, life strategies, all that good stuff. Just setting up the foundation so that you can have the success that you deserve. Your dreams are dependable. Your desires are dependable. You have them for a reason. So start paying more attention to them than to your fears. Okay? I'm Jennifer Scott, and I'll see you next week. Bye.